If you need to keep track of a lot of information online, which pretty much covers everyone doing business on the internet these days, this video is going to make your life a whole lot easier and likely save you hours each week. In the last few blog posts at SwissMoneyBlog.com, we've been talking about the critical importance of research when it comes to your marketing efforts. And I shared 2 tools that you can use to make keeping track of the mountains of information out on the internet much more manageable. One is Google Alerts, and the other is Google Reader. This video is going to show you how you can use these 2 tools together to further streamline your online research efforts. And it's also going to show you a really cool time-saving trick for Google Reader that even many seasoned internet marketers don't know about. So let's start here at Google Alerts, which you can find at google.com/alerts. The first thing that you're going to do is put in the search term that you want alerts for. Now, as I touched on in my blog post about using Google Alerts, some terms that you'll want to keep track of are your name, your company name, names of your biggest competitors and your biggest customers, as well as key industry terms. For this example, I'm going to type in the term Twitter, the internet marketing tool du jour that it is. Next, I select the type of alert that I want, and I'm just going to leave it at the default option, which is comprehensive. Then I select how often I want to receive my alerts, and the options are as it happens, once a day, or once a week. And I want them as they happen, so I'm going to select as it happens. Then enter your email address and click Create Alert. That will bring me to this page where I can manage all of the Google Alerts that I've set up. Now, if you do nothing else at this point, you will just get an email when Google finds your search term in a blog post or news story or wherever on the web. The problem with that is if you have a bunch of search terms that you're following, you're going to be under a constant barrage of emails, which can get very disruptive and be quite annoying. So there's another way that you can get your Google Alerts, which is how I get mine, and it's through an RSS feed. If you don't know what an RSS feed is, I'm not going to take the time to get into it in this video. You can learn about them by typing RSS feed into Google, or you can visit my blog at SwissMoneyBlog.com and read the post from October 30th, 2008 titled, "Can You Read 100 Blogs in Less Than an Hour?" Okay, so we're going to change this alert so it comes to us through an RSS feed instead of email. So down at the bottom here is the alert I just set up for Twitter. I'm going to go over here to the Edit button and click Edit. Then I go over to the Deliver To option where I have email and a drop-down menu. When I click on the arrow, the other option here is Feed. I'm going to select Feed and then click on Save. And now you can see it now says Feed with a little RSS icon next to it, and it also gives me the option to view this in Google Reader. So I'm going to click on this link and jump over to Google Reader. And the first time that you do this, you just subscribe to the feed. So now all the Google Alerts for the search term Twitter are going to appear in Google Reader. And that's all there is to it. Pretty easy, right? Okay, now that we've set that up, it's time for that super cool Google Reader trick that not many people know about. First, take a look at how my Google Reader looks right now. This is the default view. You have all the feeds that I've subscribed to over here on the left, and the items, which are articles or news stories or blog posts, are over here on the right. In the default view, which is called the expanded view, you can only see a couple of items listed at a time. And to view all the items, you have to do a lot of scrolling. Additionally, you have to jump from feed to feed over here on the left to see the items from each feed. While this is definitely more efficient than having to go out to the source page for each of these feeds, there's a much better way. We're going to make 2 small but powerful changes right now. First, I'm going to go up here to the top left and click on All Items. What that does is show us the items from all of our feeds in the window here on the right. So we're not going to have to keep clicking on each individual feed's name on the left. The next thing we're going to do is come up here to the top right and click on the tab that says List View. Did you see what just happened? In this main window now, each item is now displayed on a single line with the name of the feed, here Google Alerts, Twitter, that's the one we just set up, the headline, and the first few words of the article. So instead of being able to see only a couple of items at a time, I can now see about 30 of them. I can't overemphasize how much time this has saved me and can save you, because instead of constantly scrolling through my items a few at a time, I can skim the headlines 30 at a time to see which ones are of interest to me and which ones aren't. And by the way, the copywriter in me has to point out that this is just another great example of why headlines are so important. Anyway, I can also skim what feed each item came from, because there are feeds like, well, this one here. This is Seth Godin's blog, which I always take the time to read no matter what the headline. And you can just make your way through all of your feeds, looking at the headlines, looking at the feed names, and very quickly find the information that you need to know about for marketing your business online. Again, this is a huge time saver. That's pretty much all I wanted to show you in this video. Now, for extra credit, you can go back and figure out how to do this same thing, but instead of getting a feed for Google Alerts, you can get feeds from Twitter to keep track of people or search terms that you follow there. So as you can see, having all the blogs, the Google Alerts, Twitter feeds, and more that you follow sent to Google Reader is a huge time saver. Instead of having to constantly go out and check for new content on individual blogs or news sites, or constantly getting interrupted by Google Alerts in your inbox, you can manage them all in one place and check them when you have time. I found managing this information like this is a huge productivity booster. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching, and please visit SwissMoneyBlog.com, that's Sales While I Sleep Soundly, for more online marketing tips, tricks, and insights.